Our taste in film may seem destructive, but this is a productive dialogue. Damn it, your mother ate my dog.
Your Mother Eat My Dog, the podcast, episode 92. It's been over a month since we recorded. The 22nd of April, I think, was the last episode. Do you remember what movie it was?
I do. It was Top Secret.
Right,
Boy,
you fell
was that
asleep
an
with
exciting one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome back, Jesse. How have you been?
I've been very excellent. I just had a full week of work post vacation. It's always tough, but it was fine. How have you been? You've been missing the podcast?
It's been a nice break.
Mm.
I haven't
Yes.
watched many movies in the month. I did watch 2 this weekend, which we don't have to talk about. They weren't, they weren't movies to phone to mail right home about, if you will. So
Right.
you went to the Yukon.
I did.
We haven't talked about it yet
No.
on the podcast or otherwise. So how'd it go?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of driving, a lot of beautiful sights, a lot of cool wildlife, lots of nice places to stay, lots of car camping, and it was relaxing. I found it was nice. It was a nice change of pace. I've never been on a long road trip or just like a trip like that in general, but it was very cool. I would definitely. I could see myself doing a road trip again. Probably wouldn't go to the same place. Not that I didn't have a good time. It's just I've already done it. But
Yeah.
Now I know I have the capability to go for a long road trip and it not be too uncomfortable.
Yeah, road trips are fun. Were you cold?
Sometimes at night, but honestly, we had quite good weather. I mean, once you were in the Yukon, it was noticeably colder, but not like freezing cold or anything like that. But at night, I found the days were like pretty warm, and then at night, like you'd wake up at 2 a.m. and you're like the coldest you've ever been.
Okay.
Well, that's about it. Then you just put a couple more blankets on you, you're good to go.
So you guys, you drove, and then you stopped, and then you looked at stuff, and then you drove, and then you slept, and then you looked at stuff, and then like that was the vibe.
Yeah, we'd stay at different places. So like on the way up, we went up Highway 97, which is like, think of it as like the left side of BC. So then we stayed in this place called Clinton, then Burns Lake, then Stewart. And on the 4th day, we made it up to the Yukon. We made it to Watson Lake. And then we went over to Whitehorse the day after. So we stayed in Whitehorse for 2 nights, 3 days. And then on the way back, we stayed in Liard River Hot Springs, which was a very pretty place. That's probably was my favorite place to stay, I would say. Nice little natural hot spring. And then we stayed in Fort Nelson, just like 12 hours before it got evacuated from wildfires. Yep. And then we stayed in a place called Chetwynd. Then back in Clinton again. And then back home.
My uncle lived in Chetwynd.
That's a pretty cool place, actually.
He's actually selling his place. Not to steal your story, but he's selling it through Facebook. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Selling his house through Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, he's such an old guy. I think he has a realtor, but anyways. So you didn't make it to Alaska.
We actually did go to Alaska. So when we stayed in Stewart, which is like, I would say maybe 3/4 of the way up BC, Alaska goes a lot further down than you would think. And Stewart is literally a 30-second drive from Alaska, Hyder, Alaska. So we drove over into Hyder, Alaska for about 20 minutes.
Pretty south. Pretty south as you can go into Alaska.
Yeah, it basically, yeah, I think it is basically as south as you can go.
Did you have to show your passport?
It was very strange. You didn't have to show your passport going there, but you did on the way back.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we went over there. We bought some shirts and like a couple stickers or whatever. And we brought our passports with us just because we're like, yeah, why not go to Alaska just to sort of tick it off the list of places we've been. So yeah, we've been to Alaska for 20 minutes. That was cool.
So you just drove into Alaska and then kind of did a U-turn and then came back?
Yep. Yeah, we drove over to a place we knew had like souvenir type things. Picked up a few things, just drove right back.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Well, sounds like fun.
Yep. Whitehorse was a pretty hip place, I would say. A lot more young people than you might think. Yeah, it's nice.
Just like on the streets, you're just driving through and you're just seeing a lot of young people.
Yeah, and like you go out for dinner and everyone's, around our age, maybe slightly older. And there's actually like some breweries and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of hip and happening.
How can you tell though everybody's bundled up because of how cold it is?
How can I tell?
Yeah, like how can you tell how old a person is when they're all bundled up?
Oh,
Toques,
you can't
scarves.
see 'em.
Yeah, 4 layers
That's
of
a good
clothing.
point. Well, like when people get old, like especially old, they end up having like a bit of a hunch. They walk with sort of like an old man, old woman hunched walk. I didn't see many of those, so I just assumed they were young.
And how long was the trip in total?
It was 12 days in total.
Okay.
So it was like a trip to the Yukon. Yes, that was the destination, but it was really seeing BC because neither of us had really gone any further than like Penticton in terms of distance from Victoria. So there was a lot to see. Saw lots of bears, lots of moose, lots of bison. There's lots of bison on the Alaskan highway. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Again, not to steal your story, but my aunt and uncle used to own a bison farm. So, yeah, I don't know. A lot of uncle and aunt talk coming from my microphone. But it was in Saskatchewan, not in Alaska.
Yeah, that's much different.
Highway 97, is that the Highway of Tears?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's always a fun topic.
Okay, so we're in the car. We're driving the Highway of Tears. You guys listening to any music, any podcast? You guys just talking to each other? What's the vibe in the car?
Not a ton of music listening to actually. Here and there, but it wasn't too common. Yeah, a lot of chatting with one another. I mean, we also did a lot of stopping for like thrift stores and stuff. We stopped at basically everyone we could find. Yeah, just talking. Sometimes Mackenzie would just read, and I would just drive along, making an occasional, "Hey, look, a bear," comment, something like that. But it was average like 5 to 6 hours of driving a day or something like that. Because you could, yeah, it's not that bad. You could get up to Whitehorse. I think it's a 25-hour trip or something. So if you were really trying, you could get there in a few days. But yeah, we took our time.
I could probably do it in 18, I think.
Probably. Once you get past, I always pass like Smithers on the way up, you almost never see anybody on the road. So you can really, and I think the speed limit's 100, but most people, I was going probably around 115, 120, and people were whipping by me at, every half hour you'd have one person that would be coming up from behind you. So
Do you have cruise control, or did you have to,
I had cruise control, thankfully.
Oh, nice.
That helped a lot. Because my old vehicle did not have it, and even when I had to drive like up to say Comox or something, it really hurts your heel and your ankle.
For sure, yeah, I gotta do those stretches before. Beforehand. Well, I'm happy you're back. I'm sure our community is happy you're back.
I think the podcast community is. They've been itching for a new episode, and here we are presenting it to them live on Twitch.
Well, not quite.
No, not live on Twitch. That's right.
Okay, I can't remember what we do normally. I guess we have talked about. I went to a pig roast. That was That was all that's all I did.
You went to a pig roast.
I think, I don't know. It was okay. It's been a month. I went to Salt Spring.
Ooh.
Went to a pig roast. Worked a lot. Well, I worked a normal amount.
Mm-hmm.
It rained.
Pig roast.
It was sunny.
Pig roast, was it cooked like in the ground? Was it cooked on a spit? What do you mean by a pig roast?
It was like in a smoker.
Okay.
So it was a full pig, head on, ears on, nose on,
head, ears, and nose on. Okay.
Kind of laid out on like a smoker, and it didn't rotate, didn't spin like a normal spit that you kind of a picture. There was no apple in the mouth, but it was delicious meat.
Delicious meat. Okay. And delivering mail, or perhaps maybe just like in your personal life, were there any postcards?
Oh yes, I have a list of postcards that I've written down. I did have a week off. I just took a week holiday. I did nothing.
Nice.
So it's not a big list of postcards, but I think I got most, if not all of them. So we'll start at the worst one, which is one from Portland.
Okay.
It's Powell's City of Books. They're a big bookstore over there. There's also a lot of postcards from like dentists in the area. They just send out postcards and be like, "Oh, it's time for your next appointment." So I didn't count those ones. Quite a few of those ones. So then the next one was Spain, specifically Mallorca.
Ooh.
And then we have Athens.
Athens, Spain.
It's in Greece.
Greece, yep, that's the one.
Then we have Berlin, city in Germany, and then the one most recently it was the end of last week, Antarctica.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I probably should have taken a picture of it, because it didn't make any sense to me. How they could possibly have a postcard from Antarctica. But I looked around it and it, Antarctica. So unsure.
That's weird. I would think that everything that you consume while in Antarctica is provided by the directors of your scientific research team or something. There's no store you can buy a Antarctica postcard, surely.
I don't know. All I know is it said something about Antarctica on it.
Hmm.
Like not even just them writing about it. It was like the card said Antarctica on the back. So, yeah, I don't know, but Antarctica postcards.
Penguin Post Office. Yeah, there's a post office.
Well, there you go.
Huh. That's fun. And have you ever received a postcard?
Oh, sorry, yes, and also one from the Yukon.
Oh, you got a postcard from the Yukon. That's fun.
Yeah, but I didn't deliver it, so I can't count it.
You received it. Have you ever received a postcard before?
Yeah, there's like 3 on my fridge right now.
Oh, well, I was so excited. I thought maybe I'd be your first. It's the first one I've ever sent. Nope.
It's the first.
That's a lie, actually. That's not the first one I've ever sent.
It's the only one with my name on it. Well, that's not true, but it's the only one that only has my name on it. There's one from New Zealand and one from Alberta. So
I was pretty sure I wrote Josh and... No, actually, no. I think I just sent it to you, and I said it was from me and Mackenzie.
yeah, I don't think you put Megan's name on it.
I meant to. Whoops.
That's okay. It's okay. It's on the fridge.
I had to ask her what your address was to be able to send that to you, so it would be a secret.
Yeah, I guess that's true because I never really thought of how you would know
Yeah.
my address.
That's what I had to do.
Wow, no wonder she was so mad. Anyways.
Yes, anyways. There's a whole ass movie we need to talk about.
Yes, well, luckily it was a short film.
It was.
Ish. I mean, 80 minutes, but...
It's pretty short.
Okay, yeah. Carnival of Souls, in 1962, available on YouTube, which was great because the past week, well, last week and then probably for the foreseeable future, I'm doing this mail route where I have some spare time in between, so I just watched the movie while working, which has been nice because it was on YouTube. I won't be able to do that for the next one, but
right.
This is nice. So, Black and White, Carnival of Souls, 1962. The premise and first scene intrigued me. I was like,
Yes.
oh, okay, great. But then it kind of, as in the first scene, it kind of went off the bridge a little bit. And I was like, is this a comedy?
Yep.
Because there was some parts that were like, are they trying to get a laugh out of me? Also in this film, probably the worst character in any of our previous 91 movies. Like the scummiest dude.
Oh, yeah.
No redeeming qualities at all. Easily the worst character we've ever seen.
Yeah, he was quite the dirtbag.
John, I think it was his name. Mr. Linden.
John Linden. Mr. Linden.
Just, yeah, nothing good about him.
No. He was hey, Toots, what are you doing? Hey, you want to, go out for a drink with me? No?
Maybe I'm an alcoholic. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like to drink the alcohol. Whoa. I'm doing this for the sex. How did you how did you find the film?
Well, I have to, he did a very good job of being a slime ball. He was a very slimy slime ball, indeed. What did I think of the film? Yeah, the beginning, okay, I've heard of this film before. I heard it was supposed to be kind of like a wild one, but kind of didn't deliver. I mean, there were parts that were very cool, but there wasn't enough of them. And yeah, like the beginning, it started off with a bang. And then got pretty boring for 40 minutes or so. And then the last 15 minutes of the movie are interesting again. So there's just kind of like a bit too much of a lull, I would say. But
yeah, it wasn't much of a story.
No, not really. I guess basically I wasn't really 100% sure how to interpret it, but I know obviously the car goes over and the three ladies presumably die because they're looking for the car for like hours and hours, and then finally she just comes out of the water. So I assume did she like half die or something like that, and now she has like a link to like spirits that have gone beyond. I don't know, and
Did you
that's why she's kind of like sometimes going in of. Sometimes people can't see her, and sometimes people can.
did you finish the movie?
Yeah, I finished the movie.
Okay. Well, at the end, the car came up, and she was in it, dead.
Yes, that is true.
So that was the twist, which I'm not gonna say that I saw it coming, but I saw it coming because, like,
Yes.
obviously, the Wikipedia says that they looked for 3 hours. It was 3 hours, and then she came back up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, yeah, she's clearly like some sort of ghost thing because she died, and then.
Yeah.
But I
This
didn't
was.
really understand, like
Mhm.
why can't people see me? Why did um the the camera go all fuzzy and now people can't see or hear me? Frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
There's also a couple issues. I imagine this was shot at a very low budget, would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a lot of takes that I imagine they just had to take the best one they got and didn't have time to really get perfect ones, because there was some errors. Like I saw, like part of the filming crew in the shot like more than once. And also, like at the end there, when they pulled the car out and the three ladies were like in the car, like they did a terrible job pretending to be dead. They were just like moving. It's like, I can see you're not dead. So that was took me out of it a little bit. But yeah, just definitely had a low budget vibe going on. Some pretty bad acting, like especially like the doctor was glaringly bad. Just like he was clearly trying his damnedest to remember his lines and just deliver them without making a mistake. But it was clear he was, memorizing lines. If that makes sense.
Yeah, acting was bad. It was very low budget. There were some scenes, some places that they went into. I like the department store. At some point where they didn't ask for permission, they just filmed and then got
Okay.
out of there.
Okay. Yeah.
And then like the bridge at the beginning of the movie, they found a bridge that they wouldn't have to pay to use to
Yeah.
film on. But they actually like busted the bridge. Like the car went off the bridge. But they were fine with it as long as they repaired the bridge. So
Oh.
they paid $12 to have the bridge fixed after driving a car off of it.
Mm-hmm.
The 60s, man.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I did find the main actress at times like pretty good, and then at times maybe not so good. She was a bit more hit and miss, but I do feel as though she did have some good moments. She was very, very expressive in her eyes, which I liked a lot. But yeah, she was hit and miss in general.
Yeah, acting was overall not great, but not the worst.
Yeah, I did like the premise. I do wish that I like the moments, obviously, when the man kept showing up, and like I wish there was somehow more of that, especially like near the end when she got to the carnival and like more of the spirits were around, and like, I kind of wish there was more of that for sure, because those were the interesting parts.
Yeah. We didn't really get, not that we needed an explanation for it, but they just kind of gave it to us and then it was gone.
Yeah, and I think we'd also like hovered on over the whole like sometimes people can hear her and see her, and sometimes people can't. Like we felt like that happened like 3 times in the movie. It's like, I get it. Yeah, it's like it didn't add anything. It was just like there's the same scene again, but now we're in a supermarket, and now we're at the train station. It's like, okay, you got
Yeah.
a little boring, I guess. I just don't. I mean, this is pretty. I've talked to some people who have seen this movie. They love it, and I mean, it wasn't a. I didn't think it was a bad movie, but I don't really see what's there that's really makes this a spectacular film. You know?
Yeah, some sort of cult classic.
Yeah, it's not at all what I imagined. I thought there was going to be a lot more scenes like at a carnival, and a lot more sort of like dead spirits, and there wasn't too much of that really.
So you wanted more Carnival, more souls.
Yep, and more
Yeah,
ofs.
Yeah, movie didn't really deliver on all three of those. Yeah, like there was some stuff that could have really worked, but they just kind of went away with that and focused more on her love of organisms.
Yes, organisms. Yeah,
Yeah, like that. That was her life was boring. Didn't really want to see. Kind of wanted to see more of the good stuff. But they didn't. Even in a short movie, they didn't really go towards that. They kind of. I don't know. It's hard to explain what I wanted from this movie.
Yeah.
But a little something more interesting, something maybe a little better.
Yeah, and I also think they were trying to do a little bit of a contrast. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it was fairly obvious of like the church and like God, and then like devilry and spirits and that kind of thing. And they did allude to that like once, pretty on the nose. But I don't know. I thought they could have done like a little bit more with that as well. It's like, okay, she plays organ music in a church, and then like there's one scene where she's playing, she's looking at all like the imagery on the walls and stuff of the devil. But then I don't know. I don't think there was really enough of that. Could have been a bit more interesting.
The ending doesn't make any sense. If she's dead the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
then like what does it mean? You know, people can see her, people interact with her, they give her jobs.
Yeah.
John Lyndon, wants a piece of that.
Yeah, that's why I thought, like, yeah, you're right. Obviously, when at the end she's in the car, so she's dead the whole time. So I wasn't sure, like, that's what made me think it was she's like kind of half, like she was kind of stuck in between. And that's why sometimes she could be seen and sometimes she couldn't.
Yeah. Nowhere have I, well, I haven't really looked too hard at it, but and there's no explanation, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, big yawn. when one of my cats yawns, we say, "Oh, big yawn."
Yeah, we say that also. Yes.
So
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I just wanted there to be more sort of mysticism, if you will.
According to the director, one reel of footage for the film was ruined during processing. It was a long series of shots that was supposed to take place just before Mary sees the souls dancing in the ballroom. The souls were supposed to slowly appear from behind the rotting dock pylons on the salt flats and slowly walk across the prairie to the ballroom where they begin to dance. It doesn't really change anything.
Not really. No, not really.
Apparently, portions of the movie were tinted when she was in different mental states.
Tinted. What do you mean by that?
When she is in one of her alter mental states, so I guess whenever she can't be seen or heard, the picture has a faint cyan tint.
Oh, really? I never noticed that.
All the real scenes are in pure black and white.
I would notice like when she would like go from one to the other, it would get kind of like wavy, you know.
Yeah.
That's all I noticed. No cyanness.
This movie was remade in the late 90s, but the only thing they kept was the reveal at the end where she was dead the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And John Lyndon, the actor, played a cop in that film. So he was still alive.
Huh.
This movie was filmed in 3 weeks.
Yep, that makes sense. That all tracks. So, like, this movie is like, you know, there's like a Criterion Collection version. You know what the Criterion, Criterion is, right?
Of course.
Yes. So you know they typically give that treatment to like significant films. I'm just curious. Maybe there's something I'm missing. I did like some shots, and especially I loved her expressive eyes, and I loved the parts with the actual spirits in it. But I don't know if there was enough of that to really make it a interesting film.
Yeah, maybe it's like one of the first of its kind. Kind of
It is
started.
early. Like it did make me think a little bit of like Night of the Living Dead, which was like 6 years after this.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, probably fairly early for this type of thing. But then at the same time, like there's movies like Nosferatu, which I can't remember. It came out in the 20s, I think, right?
Sure.
Early 20s, and that's a lot creepier and I think way more interesting. So I don't know.
Well, okay. Yeah. Anything else you feel like we should talk about?
Not for this one, I don't think.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Filmed in Salt Lake City. Okay. Well, I think normally we do scores.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about the acting? I know we kind of already talked about it a little bit, but maybe put like a score on it.
Yes, I liked the main actress, Candice Hillegras. I liked Hillegras. Anyway, I liked her a lot at times, and maybe not so much at other times. I think overall, like, decently positive. I thought the lady who ran the boarding house or whatever was kind of strange, but I liked that. And obviously, the guy who played John Lyndon was like the ultimate sleazeball. I think he did a pretty good job at doing that. There was a couple people who really sucked, especially the doctor. Clearly, not. I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't actually a professional actor at all, and that was like the only thing he did. So yeah, maybe overall acting, I'd give it like a 6. Like I think there was the performances were like quirky and interesting enough.
Okay. Yeah. 6. Quite interesting. Candice Hillegras played Mary. Her real first name is Mary, turns out. She's still alive. She did this film, Carnival of Souls, her first film, paid $2,000 for it. She didn't like it. Either her performance or the film in it. Then 2 years later, she starred in another film called The Curse of the Living Corpse. Then she had children and became a mother. Well, okay. She had children and had children, became a stay-at-home mother, and then kind of didn't do anything else. Really. Started an episode or two of random shows. but still alive. Good for her. She was good. I wouldn't say that I liked her in this.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for the character, she kind of played it well because she didn't really know what was going on, and the character didn't really know what was going on. Yeah, I'll give it a 5.5.
Okay.
I agree mostly with how you felt.
Mm-hmm.
John Linden, that son of a bitch. Ending though, the ending kind of predictable.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while
It has.
since I've talked. Predictable because you could tell that she was going to be in the car.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horror movie. She's going to be dead the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's 62, so maybe this is the first time this has ever happened in cinema. Unsure. The old bait and switch, the old Sixth Sense. But the ending doesn't really make any sense. 'Cause it feels like the director put her in the car to be dead the whole time, just for shock value at the end. Like Sleepaway Camp. I think Sleepaway Camp?
Mm-hmm.
Shock value.
Yes.
I'm going to watch that again. Because it didn't really make any sense for the story. And thinking about it now, it's like that kind of takes away from it. And then I don't know, the souls didn't really pay off for me, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Them all dancing and running around. So I'm going to give the ending a 3 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. The ending, yes, very predictable. I thought. I mean, if I'm including the where she goes to the carnival as part of the ending, that was interesting. That was probably one of the best part of the film was the last 10 minutes or whatever. So I don't know if I really want to include that, or if the ending is just that they pull up the vehicle finally and was in there the whole time. So yeah, it's a little hard to pin that down, I suppose, but it was a bit of a disappointment. I guess having that last 10 minutes being really good was a little bit disappointing because oh, this could have been the movie the whole time, but really it wasn't. So maybe I would go ending a 4 out of 10. I mean, I didn't hate it, but not very satisfying.
Okay, how do you feel about the movie out of 10 overall?
Yeah, it had some quirky moments and some things I really liked, for sure. I didn't mention it, but the music was really cool. I did like that. Especially that one scene where she's playing the organ and then she starts thinking of all the spirits and stuff, and it starts becoming more of a scary music, which is kind of that happening in the story, but that also happened just to the music throughout the film, separate from just that one scene or whatever. So I liked how they did that, because I think the organ does lend itself to being able to switch that easily. I think from church music to kind of being spooky organ music, So I thought that was cool. Yeah, obviously the spirits were cool. Some good acting bits. Low budget, obviously. What would I give this out of 10? Maybe I'll go a 6 out of 10. Maybe a little generous, but there it is, a 6.
Yeah, the organ was good. I guess it was a good plot point by the director to have her on an organ, because that does lend itself well to a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, I mean, there wasn't a lot of organ play, I guess, but it doesn't matter. The acting was low budget. The ending was low budget. The first 2 minutes had me super excited. Wow, how haven't I heard of this cult classic horror film before? And then I heard somebody talk one of the actors talk. It's like, oh, I see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
Not the best horror movie we've watched recently. Not the worst. Just middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Good pick, though. I mean, sometimes your picks are a little, hit and miss, but I respect that you took a chance on this.
Thank you.
Not on like a Mystery Man or something, but again,
Right.
Tootsie was good, but
Yes.
okay. Next week, if we even do this next week, who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Let me just look at a calendar real quick. That's the map. So your big birthday's coming up.
Oh, that is true. Yep.
So next week will be 93, 94, 95. Oh, it looks like I have your birthday movie.
Well, that's okay.
It's got to be good, I guess. Next week, in honor of you traveling north to the cold Arctic circle, we're going to do Wind River.
Wind River.
Yeah, 2017 Wind River.
Wind River.
You may know the main actor.
Jeremy Renner.
Even the main actress.
Yes, they're both Marvel people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This film, Rotten Tomato scores whatever, but IMDb scores 7.7 out of 10.
Okay.
Seems difficult to get that high. So, Wind River, yeah, heard good things. I think it's gonna be a good film. Will we have as much to talk about as we did Carnival of Souls? Probably not, but
We shall
is
see.
it on YouTube? No, it's not. It's on Paramount Plus.
Oh, great. Ugh. Great. Good choice.
So so we were big into Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got Paramount Plus to watch Survivor. Because I was under the impression that it would come out on either so Survivor comes out Wednesday nights if you have cable. So I was under the impression it came out either Wednesday night or Thursday morning. But it turns out it doesn't. It comes out whenever it wants to come out. So like Friday even, which is too late for me. Because I could just go to the internet and watch it, Thursday for free. So that didn't work out. So I canceled Paramount Plus.
I'm pretty sure Paramount Plus is what we used to watch the first 9 seasons when we decided we'll just watch all of Survivor, and we got 9 seasons through. But yeah, it was like a lot of it was on there, but not all of it, I think, or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. And then while you were gone, I got Sportsnet Plus to watch the Canucks, and then they lost, so I got rid of Sportsnet Plus.
Did they have a 3-0 lead or a 3-1 lead?
Explain. None of those things happened.
In terms of games, they weren't up ever.
They were up 3-2.
Oh, 3-2. Oh, okay.
Against Edmonton.
Yeah.
And then lost the last 2 games.
Yeah, they did. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. The fact that they got that far is great.
Yeah, I heard a lot of they were great in the regular season, but I don't feel too optimistic about their playoff abilities.
Losing their top goaltender game 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Kind of dug their grave a little bit, but no, they played well. The replacement goalie played well. No complaints. Happy. I mean, the Oilers are going to lose to Dallas, probably. So the Canucks would have lost to Dallas too. So just
There you go.
they get to go enjoy their holidays 2 weeks early. So good for them.
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, good way to look at it. But no, I'm excited for Wind River. This is a good film. I think it's like a thriller. It's by the same guy who did Yellowstone.
Okay. Sounds familiar. That was a show, right?
Yeah, with the guy from Field of Dreams,
Okay. Yep.
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. Waterworld.
Yeah, Waterworld. Friend of the podcast. Wind River is a good film. I think that you could watch with perhaps a significant other. So
I will try that.
yeah, me too. Okay. So wow, we've done really good. Done really good. First day back after a long haul.
Yeah, I think we did really well.
We can be proud of this. Yeah, maybe I'll figure out how to put this on YouTube, and then we'll build and we'll build, and then we'll be rich and famous, and I can finally buy a house.
That would be
in
nice. In this
East
economy?
Suk. Well, not here, but like
Right.
in the Yukon.
Yes. Could do it, I think.
Yeah. Do you know what Spider-Man movie came out in 2012?
Definitely, I think The Amazing Spider-Man 1?
Yeah. Sure was.
Yeah.
Wow. What? All right, Jesse. Well, I'm just killing box office game without you. That's great.
Okay, that's great. You don't need me.
Who the fuck is Kelly McDonald?
I don't know. It's probably some animated movie.
Change your fate. It is.
If you had the chance to change your fate, would you take it?
What movie was that?
Brave?
Yeah, it sure was. Good, thank you. Channing Tatum. Was that a Magic? No, 2012. Oh yeah, Matthew McConaughey. Is that Magic Mike 2?
I think that's 1.
Yeah, you're correct. Taylor Kitsch. Blake Lively. Young, beautiful, dead. Oh, I'm never gonna figure this out. Taylor Kitsch, Blake Lively, Aaron Taylor Johnson. I don't know. I'm just gonna
Taylor
pass on that one.
Kitsch. Who the hell's Taylor Kitsch?
Okay. Pot growers Ben and Chon face off against the Mexican drug cartel who kidnapped their shared girlfriend. I have seen this movie, but I would never know what it was called. Savages. Yeah, well.
Never
It's
heard
really
of it.
good. Okay. Okay, well, I'm glad you're back, and we're back. And that's all there is to say.
That's all there is to say about that. Okay. Great.
Okay, I guess I'm going to stop the recording.
Stop it, lock it, and rub it down, brother.
Okay, bye.
Bye.